Happy Sunday to you all. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. So, whoever has subscribed my channel and member of this channel, then definitely they must be able to access these videos. Okay. So, without delaying, today's topic is to discuss on the definition of a done. So, when I say definition of a done, I mean in short form, you can say DOD. So, you find these terms in during your interviews, during your organization when they discuss these kind of things, agile culture and all that. Then they discuss these things, and then you might be hearing out this definition of a done. So DOD term or definition of a done, the full form is the kind of term we use, or we can say the process we use in our agile ceremony. So first of things, what is this definition of a done? So in agile practice, we use or we can say we create this definition of a done in order to in order to we can say it's again a guideline similar to the definition of ready, but this and that definition of ready was the guideline and then conditions to accept the story for implementation. And in definition of a done, the guideline or conditions that should be satisfied to accept that story. So when you say its definition, any story, user story is done until it doesn't satisfy all those definitions of done criteria. You cannot basically accept that. So what do you mean by that? So you might have understood what is the definition of a done. So it's a guideline or criteria on which a user story should be compared, and then once agreed, then only product owner or the client side proxy PO or client side SME will be accepting the user story, whoever is responsible to accept the story. Okay. So so you understood what is this definition of a done, why we use the definition of it. This is another the important factor. So in our agile ceremonies, we when we keep on implementing these user stories, okay, you must be having the acceptance criteria, you will be having the detailed information in that in that acceptance criteria or description of the user story. But it doesn't mean how you will match it's implemented correctly. How you will match, how you will know this is done as per the requirement you have identified or clarified or you mentioned in the user story. How you will validate, how will you assure this is done as per the expected. Okay. So that's where the definition of done comes in picture. So one of the example of the definition of a done is all the acceptance criteria must be validated in the test environment. This is the one of the definition of a done criteria. Another definition of a done criteria, all the test cases should have automated. So you are promoting the culture of automation of your test cases, that are DevOps culture. And then one of the definition of a done criteria is your test cases must have been automated when you have done the testing and all that. It means your QA team has started this writing the automation test cases and started executing the automation test cases whenever they receive the build for that user story. Okay. Hi Om. Uh, I will answer your question. Okay. Yeah. Or you can write this thing on. I think the question you are asking is. I'm not sure. You write this question here. Okay. Okay. So you write your question there. I will respond to you. Okay. 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 So where I was. So basically, definition of a done is setting up the criteria. So one or two examples criteria I have shown you. I mean, another is what. So you can say performance testing or system integration testing must have done for the user story. Another acceptance criteria is, suppose uh, uh, so yeah, so what is that, another one? uh, so it could be anything basically related to user story. That's why I'm not so much, I'm trying to collect, what could be another such. This is this kind of interactive. I'm also visualizing the same time I'm talking. So what could be the another one? uh, Oh, so one of the definition of a done could be that user story should be accepted only when it's been demonstrated to the stakeholder. This could be another definition of a done. Okay, another definition of a done is whenever you are moving it to from test to staging server. I mean some higher environment, not the production, but some higher environment. That's a, could be your another definition of a done. So definition of done is the criteria. Who create this criteria? It's a team. It's your team. Within your team members, they come together, and similar to the definition of ready, they come together and then they discuss these things, they agreed these terms, and then they write down as a reference guide. And whenever they execute start executing the iterations, they refer that the guide to while accepting the user story. Another important point is it when we create this definition of a done. So similar to the definition of a ready, we also create the definition of a done at beginning of the project. And suppose if it is not there, somebody you join, you as a product owner or a team member, you have joined a team where it is not being followed up, but you know the benefits and the importance of the definition of a done, you can introduce within your team, and then they will be they will meet together in one common room, and then they discuss and finalize. So definition of a done idle time is implementation is before it start executing of your project iterations. Or if it is not there, then you are nowhere late, you can start these real good practices any point of time. So whenever anybody any interview you've been asked this question, when we create the definition of a done, you can say in the way I have just explained. Okay. So another important question for the interview: when how many definition of a done exist for a product? Oh, so again, so before that is a very really funny thing. I mean, see, these are the fun and kind of knowledge gaining, right? So the question striking my mind is uh, when I mean how many sorry this definition of a done applied to where? I mean, it's applied to the product level, applied to iteration level, or applied to user story level, or applied to task level. This question I have also asked in the members area, community area, and people have so responded in a various ways. But in the right question, right answer is it is the product level. It's not the iteration level. You cannot have a different definition of it on each iteration. No, you will define for your project, for your team one time, and then you have to follow. Example: if you are having multiple teams for the same product, then you can define two definition of a done for each team, because they are the different team. But you need to understand one thing: it's a team collaboration basically, because the both teams are following and working for the same product, actually should follow one definition of a done. So it's all varies from your organization and team level. If they said no, we will follow different definition of it done for your team, because we have a different capability within our team, and we might be handling a different set of functionality for that product. So our definition of done might vary from your definition of it done, because your team is skill sets, your team is handling different kind of functionalities for that same product. So it's very possible for the same product, two different teams will use two different definition of done. But ideally, if they are working so collaboratively. It's a mixed functionality they are implementing for the same product. Then you should follow only one definition of a done. And I'm telling you, how many definition of a done can follow within one team. Very important thing. So let me tell you one thing. You can have multiple definition of done for one product, and that could be followed by the teams. You can have multiple definition of a done. How? See, definition of a done for one functionality may be different. For example, if there is a architecture requirement, user story, architecture diagram has to be created and just put it for a reference for the developers. It not been need to be deployed to any staging server or something. So one of the criteria you have mentioned in your definition of a done, the user story should be put on the staging server, then only it has to be accepted. It's not going to satisfy at any point of time, right? That user story, the architectural design document or architectural diagram. So, the one definition of a done guideline may not be applicable to all of your user stories for the same product. Then you can have multiple definition of a done targeting different kind of functionalities within the same product. So it's up to us. We need to visualize, and it's not like you have to realize these things very beginning of the project itself. No, when you grow, it's keep on learning. So one of the agile lean methodology is keep learning and keep improving. When you do a mistake, then only you will learn. So if not done initially, you will realizing later, and then never late you can implement that definition of a done. So you might be following one definition of a done for your project, but middle of the iteration you realize, no, few of the, suppose you are doing the retrospective. In that you realize, oh, few of the some member stand up and they said some of the stories are not fulfilling or not satisfying the definition of a done condition. How we will accept them? Then the immediate response or immediate solution for that, we will create a separate definition of a done for such user stories. Right, you got the point, right? So I think definition of a done, why we create that, how we create that, what different types of a definition of a done we can create, who creates, which level it is applicable. I think I have tried to answer everything. You can go through this video again and again until you don't have the clarity. Okay, so next I think meeting I will talk about definition of release. This is again product management or product owners level, some definitions. We this criteria, success criteria for that. When we say definition of a release, it's not definition of a ready, definition of a done, and then a definition of a release. So I will talk more on that next Saturday, and then I will bring one more topic for in next Sunday. So I will be coming up live for Saturday, Sunday both. Okay, great. So keep learning, guys. Keep growing. I will be bringing more interview questions also in these sessions. Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. Keep in touch with me through my email, whoever are the member of my channel, and keep. I will be posting, of course, some of the community informations as well, the postings. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. Thank you. Bye bye.